Bom dia a todos aqui do Brasil. Nós estamos transmitindo uma live com o Dr. Masood Sepehrimanesh. Ele é pós-doutorado pela Universidade de Louisiana em Lafayette e vai falar para a gente sobre a pesquisa de 7 anos que ele fez, que ele vem estudando sobre os efeitos nocivos dos dispositivos sem fio no trato reprodutivo masculino. Dr. Lafayette agora está em seu laboratório e nós os damos as boas-vindas aqui no Brasil. Welcome to Brazil, Dr. Masood. Thank you for your time and this live.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Daniela, for my invitation, and nice to see you in the meeting.
Nice to see you too. Nice to meet you. So nós vamos ter a live em inglês, mas depois nós teremos os subtítulos em português para o pessoal aqui do Brasil. So, Dr. Masood, we would like to know about the harmful effects of the microwave radiation in the reproductive tract of male. So, how has been your research during this 7-year time in Lafayette, in University of Louisiana?
Okay, it's a good question. I starting the evaluation of the effects of the radio frequency electromagnetic wave on the reproductive system in my Ph.D. thesis around 2011. And then continue working on that during 7 years. And on that project, we exposed male rats to the cell phone, and then for the short term, mid-term, and long-term exposure, and then evaluate the proteome, the whole protein expression in the testes of these animals, and also evaluated the main hormones, main reproductive hormones in the sera, and also some antioxidant factors in the sera and in the tissue, testicular tissue. And all together, we found that the long-term exposure, I mean from the long-term means 4 hours exposure every day for 30 days, 30 consecutive days. And then we found that all of the main hormones, maybe LH, FSH, testosterone, activin, and inhibin, change in response to this exposure. Also, we found some proteins in the testicular tissue that these proteins are related to the heat shock. And also, this protein is a regulatory protein and regulate all of the process in the tissue, maybe combat with the reactive oxygen species. And altogether, we found that this long-term exposure of the male rat, male reproductive system to the cell phone maybe has some adverse effect in the reproduction. And this study can completely simulate the human exposure. For example, we had 3 groups, 1 hour per day, 2 hours per day, and 4 hours per day exposure. That means a short-term, mid-term, and long-term exposure. And in the long term, we see the effects. So this means that if you use more time from the cell phone, the effects of the side effects of this radiation is too high in your body. Is it clear completely?
Yes. Então o que ele disse é que ele fez os estudos, a exposição das radiações em ratos de 30, 1 hora, 2 horas e 4 horas, e foram notadas e foram observadas, né, a ação dos oxidantes e alterações hormonais no corpo dos ratos. So, and how about, is that how you notice the alterations and the damages in their reproductive tract? They couldn't reproduce themselves, or were the little mice being born with some sort of disorders?
The rat we use the cell phone in the rat, cell phone exposure in the rat. But we want to evaluate the effects of cell phone on the rat, on the testicular tissue. But if this exposure happened in the pregnancy time, when the fetus is in the uterus, is in the in the body of the mother body, maybe this effects may be a start, and they continuously uh, affect the growth of the reproductive system, and also affect the nervous system to develop the all of the body. So this effect may be a start during the pregnancy and continue uh, during the childhood, and then continue during the adolescence. So this effect, because we use the cell phone routinely every day, and for example, if I don't use the cell phone, my friends, maybe my neighbors use the cell phone, also the BTS may be installed near my house, and so all of our body exposed to the cell phone radio frequency electromagnetic wave, and these effects maybe happen in all of the life of the each people. So we use the specific rat testicular tissue to evaluate the change of the protein in this tissue. So this change maybe affect the sperm in the tissue, and also affect the cell, Leydig cells or other cells that produce some supportive material for the sperms, and produce some other hormones to support the sperm to develop and produce effective cells for the next generation.
Right. And how about the neurological effects? Would you be able to talk about how
Uh,
the microwave radiation impacts the main nervous system?
Yeah, as I talked with Dr. Davis, we want to do some research in this field, but it's need some budget about that to support, because using the because working on the some neurological disease need more budget, and we don't have enough budget in the university right now. So we could not start some project, but if we have some supports, maybe uh, I can uh, I can talk with my mentor about that to maybe start some project. But right now, we couldn't start the same project, because the working with this material, cell culture or anything like that, need a lot of money, a lot of materials, and it's too difficult to start. But you know that all of the people use the cell phone near their head, and all of the effects may be concentrated on the brain. So this may be produce severe damage in the brain.
Yes, Dr. Deborah Davis, she has already done lots of lectures, even on YouTube, talking about the lymphomas. Did you have the chance to talk to her about this issue?
Yeah. I and
Sorry,
Dr.
about gliomas. I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
lymphomas, but I'm sorry,
uh,
glioma.
yeah, yeah. I and Dr. Davis had a meeting maybe 3 months ago. Yeah, and we talked about this problem with a patient, and also with a lawyer about the issues. And yeah, this is a big issue that you see. Some people show the malignancy in their brain, but you can't find the exact reason for this malignancy. And when you search in their background, you see a lot of use of the cell phone, and then you can connect. You can you can induce a connection between the use of the cell phone and this malignancy, but you need more study or research about that.
And do you think the cell phones could come with a more protection inside? You know, their magnets to pull the signals could be protected, and so we have a safer way use our technology.
I cannot respond exactly to your question because this is the man-made technology. So this is not the exact things in the nature that if you live maybe 100 years ago, you didn't exposure to any type of these waves, and so you cannot see any of these side effects on the brain or something like that. But right now, if we want to use the technology, it's better to use the cell phone with a very in the few frequency and few frequency, and it's better to use the cell phone just for emergency talk, not for routinely use. Maybe some people play with the cell phone, some people watch movies, some people listen to the music, and use a lot of time with the cell phone. So in this for overcome these issues, it's better to put your cell phone on the airplane mode to decrease the effects of the cell phone exposure.
Right. So thank you. Would you be able to recommend also to every man that is watching this live right now, how they could locate their cell phones with more careful as well near their body? And you already said the airplane mode. I think that it decreases the amount of radiation, non-ionizing radiation in our body. But what else? What could you recommend? Because men has the tendency to carry their phones on their pockets, right? My husband does that all the time.
If you see,
what do you have to say about that?
if you see, most of the men put the cell phone in their pocket, and most of the women maybe put their or men or women put the cell phone in their pocket here. So mostly all of the effects may be focused in and concentrated in the reproductive system or in the chest, or sometimes you are when you are talking, maybe focus on your head. So it's better to use maybe some not Bluetooth, some wired earpad to put the phone over there and then talk with the phone to make a distance between the phone and your body.
Excellent. So earplugs, like headsets, and then they do work, and they like we increase the distance between our body and
because all of the effects of the exposure to the cell phone is related to the distance between your body and the main producing the main apparatus or the main parts that produce the waves. So if you put it, if you make more distance between your body and the cell phone, it's be useful for your body to receive lesser amounts of the exposure.
Yes. So I believe it's also recommended to place the cell phone somewhere instead of holding it, right?
Yes, yes,
Because
completely.
because if you're holding it, all the energy, all the radiation is running through our body, right?
Yes, if you put in, for example, put your cell phone in your hand, and then this is the near to your body, maybe less than 20 centimeter. So when someone called you, this produce more frequency, radio frequency electromagnetic wave, and affect your body, maybe from the head to the toes. And this maybe if you continuously use this cell phone for more than 1 hour, 2 hours, or something like that, that some people use that. So this maybe affects, the effects is related to the non-thermal related effects, but change the protein expression and anything like that.
So the changes of the protein, is that the changes of the protein affects the hormones in the male body? Is that correct?
This is not, you cannot say, you cannot find the exact association between the protein expression and hormonal change, because we focus on the protein change of protein expression in the testicular tissue, but also we found some hormonal change in the serum. So if we want to connect this together, we can say that some proteins, some cells in the testicular tissue change, and then maybe affect another pathways, then finally result to the change in the endocrine change in the body. But we found most of the protein was heat shock protein. So the expression of this heat shock protein decreased, and this heat shock protein help other protein. If some conformational change happened in the protein, this heat shock protein help this protein to come back to the normal situation, or remove these unnormal proteins. So if this heat shock protein affected, you see a lot of bad proteins in the body, and then this bad protein maybe damage your cells and your bodies.
I see. Yes. So do you think do you think the the cell phone radiation could also have the same effects in the female reproductive system?
Sure, sure. Because all the male reproductive system and female reproductive system have some genital cells. So these cells are so sensitive to the cell phone effects, and the cell phone maybe damage these genital cells. So I think some other researchers work on that, and work on the female side effects of the cell phone exposure. So, but I mainly focus on the male reproductive effects of the cell phone exposure.
All right. So thank you very much for your interview and your live. And I think we're getting to an end here. You need to get going and
Yeah.
to back to your lab. Uh, Thank you very, very much for your time. And I hope next time we can be together with Dr. Deborah Davis as well, because I know she was orienting you through your research.
Yes, yes. I and Dr. Davis work together for more than 6 years right now, and publish some review papers, and working closely together to find some budget for this type of research, because you know that there is no company or organization to support this type of research, and it's too difficult, because if you want to work on the monkey or maybe primate, you need to spend a lot of money. If you want to work on the side effect of the cell phone on the cell, you need to culture some cells, some specific cell line, And again, you need a lot of money. So the first thing to do some research in this field is to find a supporter, a sponsor, to provide a budget for you, and then you can do any research. But right now it's too difficult to find the sponsor, and I and Dr. Davis work together to find a good sponsor for this type of research.
Excellent. So we leave here your website, Dr. Masood, and just I think we do like a small contribution to the Environmental Health Trust.
EHT, yes, EHT.
Yes, and so EMF Brasil is part of that research as well. I hope that helps with your studies and researches to keep going, because we really need those studies and to prove that there is a harm, and we need to use those technology responsibly. And the industry also need to get be liable for their products and release them in the market with more security as well.
Yes, completely. Yeah.
So I hope next time you have a little more time for us, and I hope to see you soon. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. Yeah, I'm so sorry because I need to do some works and I need to leave the meeting. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.